Hello, Wildcats. Welcome to the first and hopefully first of many book readings. Today, I picked out a pretty special book. Well, because it's the first one, I feel like it has to be a pretty special one. The title is called, and let's make sure that everyone can see it okay. Yep, it's called The Three Questions. So, we're going to be thinking about three different questions. What are they? Well, let's review them before we even get to the book. The first question is, what is the best time to do things? The second one is, who is the most important one? Or who is the most important person? And then the final one is, what is the right thing to do? So we got a when question, a who question, and a what question. So let's jump right into it, shall we? Alright, so that was actually just the book cover. I took it off because it would be easier to read it without it, to read the book without it. Alright, the three questions based on a story of Leo. Alright, so let's start big. In our story, we're going to start with a young boy. His name is Nikolai. Nikolai has three friends, and they're just hanging out by the lake. We have Nikolai here flying a kite. We have Gogol, not sure what he's doing there. With Pushkin, just kind of laying down, chilling. And then we have Sonya, a heron, just walking on the lake. Here we go. There once was a boy named Nikolai, who sometimes felt uncertain about the right way to act. I want to be a good person, he told his friends, but I don't always know the best way to do that. Nikolai's friends understood and they wanted to help him. If only I could find the answers to my three questions, Nikolai continued, then I would always know what to do. Have you ever wondered about these questions? I definitely have, and I am hoping that Nikolai's journey will answer some of these questions for us. So again, the three questions are, when is the best time to do things? Who is the most important one or person? And what is the right thing to do? So, Nikolai's friends got some ideas. Alright, we'll start with Sonya. Sonya, the heron, spoke. To know the best time to do things, one must plan in advance, she said. And then, let's see, a little closer. Gogol, the monkey, who had been rooting through some leaves to find something good to eat, said, you will know when to do things if you watch and pay close attention. Then, Pushkin, the dog, who was just dozing off, rolled over and said, you can't pay attention to everything yourself. You need a pack to keep watch and help you decide when to do things. For example, Gogol, a coconut is about to fall on your head. And Pushkin is right. You see the coconut? It's about to fall right on Gogol. How silly. I hope he doesn't get hurt. And let me make sure. Alright. Nikolai thought for a moment. Then he asked his second question. Who is the most important one or person? As they're just strolling by the lake. And again, his friends got some answers. Those who are closest to heaven, said Sonya, circling up into the sky. Those who know how to heal the sick, said Gogol, stroking his bruised noggin. Remember, a coconut dropped on his head. How silly. And then, those who make the rules, growled Pushkin. So they all had different ideas, all pretty good answers, but they're all different. All right. Nikolai thought some more. Then he asked the third question. What is the right thing to do? Flying, said Sonia. Having fun all the time, laughed Gogol. Fighting, barked Pushkin right away. Then Nikolai thought for a long while. He loved his friends. He knew they were all trying their best to help him answer his questions, but their answers didn't seem quite right. Then an idea came to him. I know, he thought. I will ask Leo the turtle. He has lived a very long time. Surely he will know the answers I'm looking for. And he is right. Nikolai is right about turtles. Turtles usually live for a very long time. So then, So Nikolai hiked up into the mountains where the old turtle lived all alone. And he is still keeping his kite with him. When Nikolai arrived, he found Leo digging a garden. The turtle was old and digging was hard for him. I have 3 questions and I came to ask your help, Nikolai said. When is the best time to do things? Who is the most important one? What is the right thing to do? Right away he asks his questions. He really wants to find out the answers. Leo listened carefully, but he only smiled. Then he went on with his digging. You must be tired, Nikolai said at last. Let me help you. The turtle gave him his shovel and thanked him. And because it was easier for a young boy to dig than it was for an old turtle, Nikolai kept on digging until the rows were finished. But just as he finished, the wind blew wildly, and rain burst from darkened clouds. As they moved toward the cottage for shelter, Nikolai suddenly heard a cry for help. Oh no. Who is crying for help? Nikolai, being a nice boy that he was, burst into action. Running down the path, Nikolai found a panda whose leg had been injured by a fallen tree. Oh no. You see the panda? Yeah, the panda looks like she's pretty injured. Very carefully, Nikolai carried her into Leo's house and made a splint for her leg with a stick of bamboo. Now let's pause for a second. Girls and boys, what is a splint? Well, a splint is a piece of hard material, and in this case we're told that Nikolai made a splint with a stick of bamboo. Now, the reason why he made a splint for the panda's leg was because the panda's leg was broken, and he wanted to use a splint, something hard, something concrete, to help her so that her leg, being broken, would not be moved around. How nice of him to help her heal. The storm raged on, banging at the doors and windows. And then the panda woke up. So the panda was not awake all this time. Maybe she had fainted. And then she asked, Where am I? She said. And where is my child? Oh no. All this time there is a panda baby. Let's see. Alright. The boy ran out of the cottage and down the path right back to where he was. The roar of the storm was deafening, so loud. Pushing against the howling wind and drenching rain, he ran farther into the forest. There, he found the panda's child, cold and shivering on the ground. You see? Yeah, whoops. So little panda has been out here all this time. The little panda was wet and scared, but alive. Nikolai carried her inside and made her warm and dry. Then he laid her in her mother's arms. Leo smiled when he saw what the boy had done. And now Nikolai is getting dry and getting warm too. Can't get to the page. All right. The next morning, the sun was warm. Birds sang and all was well with the world. The panda's leg was healing nicely, and she thanked Nikolai for saving her and her baby from the storm. At that moment, Sonia, Gogol, and Pushkin arrived to make sure everyone was all right. Nikolai felt great peace within himself. He had wonderful friends, and he had saved the panda and her child, but he also felt disappointed. He still had not found the answers to his 3 questions, so he asked Leo one more time. The old turtle looked at the boy. "But your questions have been answered," he said. "They have?" Nikolai asked. And Leo had a great response. A little long, but a very good response. "Yesterday, if you had not stayed to help me dig my garden, you wouldn't have heard the panda's cries for help in the storm. Therefore, the most important time was the time you spent digging the garden. The most important one at that moment was me, and the most important thing to do was to help me with my garden. Later, when you found the injured panda, the most important time was the time you spent mending her leg and saving her child. The most important ones were the panda and her baby, and the most important thing to do was to take care of them and make them safe." Not sure if that was very clear, the text. Remember then, there is only one important time, and that time is now. The most important one is always the one you're with, and the most important thing to do, good for the one who is standing at your side. For these, my dear boy, are the answers to what is most important in this world. And this is why we are here. The end. So, boys and girls, what can we learn from this book? Well, there were 3 questions, right? When is the best time to do things? Well, the best time to do things is now, because if we always spend time dwelling in the past or wondering what's going to happen in the future, then we're going to lose out on right now. So the best time to do things is always now. Who is the most important one or person? Well, that's going to always be not ourselves, not us, but the people that we're with. They are always going to be the most important people. And what is the right thing to do? Well, that kind of depends. But that is why it's important for us to pay attention with our eyes, our ears, and maybe even with our nose, with less speaking with our mouth, and always be ready to listen with our heart. And the reason is because who are the most important one again? The people that we spend time with. And therefore, what is the right thing to do? What is the best thing to do? That's going to be, what do they need? Do they need any help? Maybe after this book recording, you're going to spend time with your siblings. Maybe you're going to go back to be with your parents. Pay attention to what they need. Do they need any help? Maybe you can help them with anything that they need. Maybe they don't need any help, but it might still be nice for you to tell them, I'm here for you, I love you, I care about you, right? Or maybe your siblings, they don't really need anything, they just want to be left alone. Now, not doing anything sometimes could be the best thing to do also. So, always be ready to pay attention and to decide what is the best thing to do right now for the people that we're spending time with. All right. I hope you enjoyed today's book, and I will see you very soon again with a different book. Bye bye.